Hello everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing fantastic. And that you're all having a wonderful day. Don't forget to do something. Wait, don't forget to subscribe. I almost said do. Don't forget to subscribe to The Modern Investor. There's a brand new video every single day, if you can imagine it. Yes, every single day, brand new video. Very big thank you to everyone out there who has left a comment every single day and supported the channel. I do thank thee. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. It didn't take us that long to kind of get back here. It's not even the grand scope of things. It's the current scope of the cryptocurrency market. We, for some reason, still witness large numbers of people within the space believing that one thing is inherently, explicitly, completely better than another thing. We spoke about that a couple of days ago. There were multiple news reports once again of Ethereum going to flip Bitcoin, that XRP was going to not only become the number 2 coin this cycle, but was also going to $1,000 per coin, which would throw it in front of Bitcoin and become the number 1 coin. We get it all the time. However, one recently, coin in particular, has kind of taken the digital cake with this idea of how grandiose and fabulositous it is. And out of nowhere, people started throwing huge amounts of money into the project. And now everyone, or the large portion of people within the space, claim that this is the new answer to the cryptocurrency market and how amazing it's going to be over the coming years. John Van Eck, the CEO of global investment management firm Van Eck, I'm pretty sure you could have guessed that one, believes Ethereum will emerge as the leading blockchain as banks and financial institutions prepare for widespread stablecoin adoption. Stablecoins, as irreverently boring as they might be, has captured the imagination and attention of CEOs, CFOs, COOs, banks, and everyone else in between who basically are trying to make their own stablecoin. Everyone appears to be trying to make their own stablecoin, as, you know, it's legal to do so. But they're trying to mimic the success of the Coinbase stablecoin and Tether. This is basic, like down to its foundation. This is what it is. So we have heard since the Genius Act bill, stablecoin, Facebook, all these other things that got passed months ago have gone through, that apparently Wall Street is quite keen on building nearly, not exclusively, but nearly exclusively on Ethereum for their projects. And therefore, as people keep saying that the old system has to adapt, apparently the adaptation will be on Ethereum. This is the news that we've gotten for a while. We keep hearing about these companies who are buying huge amounts of Ether, allegedly, behind the scenes. Banks are also doing the exact same thing. We have heard that there are we don't know, we haven't had any SEC filings. We haven't, people from JP Morgan haven't stood on stage and told us, even though JP Morgan has announced before that they heavily prefer Ethereum over Bitcoin, but that's also because they're part of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, so it does make kind of some sense there. That basically behind the scenes, banks are also buying huge amounts of Ether, and this is why, if you missed it, the amount of Ether on, this was May and June, so I imagine it's even less. The amount of ether on crypto exchanges hadn't been this low, like supply-wise, since 2015. The kicker, once again, there being Ethereum launched in 2015. So everyone keeps announcing how amazing this coin is and how it's basically going to take over. Speaking in an interview with Fox Business, Van Eck argued that traditional finance cannot ignore the coming wave of stablecoin transactions and will eventually need to build on Ethereum or similar systems. He said, and I do quote, "It's very much what I call the Wall Street token," he said, explaining that the future of banking will require seamless acceptance and settlement of stablecoins. The winner is going to be Ethereum or something that uses Ethereum's methodology known as ECM, end quote. This has really picked up steam, and I will say from a simple logic vantage point, it does make sense. These things do need to be interoperable. We have seen since 2018 that these companies have been part of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. There's a reason why I want you to look at it. I want you to look at the companies who are part of this thing since 2018, 3 years after Ethereum was launched, who basically pledged their digital devotion to Ethereum. Like, it's a really big thing that we have, like, these companies doing this kind of thing. So on top of that, the general consensus is that stablecoins will be across multiple chains, obviously. It doesn't make 1,000% sense to have everything on one chain, because should that chain collapse, fall, have issues in 10, 15, 20 years, well, buddy boy, you have a problem. However, the majority of the coin issuance from many projects now tends to be on Ether. And it's a self-perpetuating system. If you issue a coin on the Ethereum network, you will get fees. Like, people will pay fees to use your coin. You will get money from the fees from having issued said coin. If you issue a coin on there and you're doing billions of dollars worth of transactions over the course of a weekly, monthly period, you're going to be making a lot of money. You will then in turn see Ethereum's price rise from you building your coin, like literally on top of it. That in turn makes companies say, okay, cool, we also need to buy some Ether to be able to, because the more Ether you have, the more Ether you can create. And the more Ether that is staked, it protects the network. It is literally like self-perpetuating, like in a circle. It keeps, repeating itself. The more Ether you have, the more Ether you are staking. You're protecting the network. You're creating free money from basically staking it. Because so much extra Ether is being staked within the network, the price goes up. There's less Ether to go around. As the price goes up, you start buying more. You issue more stable coins on top of it. This is it. This is the general idea. Van Eck suggested that as corporate adoption of stablecoins grows, banks that fail to adapt could lose relevance. A 14th of May survey by Fireblocks revealed that 90% of institutional players are already exploring stablecoin usage in their operations. We've known that for a while. The beginning of this year, the topic was stablecoins. There wasn't anything about interest rates. There wasn't, everything. And I remember saying, I was like, what the fudge is going on? Everything revolved around stablecoins. So as those laws got passed, everyone's very excited, and it's going to bring a brand new utopia for people basically holding Bitcoin and Ethereum, as it were, as this is continuously the news that we keep on getting. So yeah, awesome. And also just wait till you see the news that connects to this, because it's going to make a lot of sense. I personally look forward to seeing Ethereum go to 9,000, go to 15,000. And I say that because these are the numbers that we keep hearing from every analyst within this space regarding the issuances of stablecoins on the chain, banks buying up Ether, locking it away, staking on the ETFs. The other new ETFs that are being released, this is the constant news that we keep getting. So it's like, okay, cool. If Ethereum does well, if we see a 3 or 4x in price in Ether from now until December or January, altcoins, as I've mentioned before, other altcoins would do a 5, 10, 15, or 20x. Those are real numbers. So yeah, you should all be crossing your fingers that Ethereum does well, because all your other altcoin investments would do well as well. That's the popular Van Eck. Everyone keeps talking about how amazing Ethereum is news. And yeah, let's move on. So, as you might have imagined, there's a company called, so this is a two-pronged news thing. There's a company called BitMine. Ironically enough, BitMine used to mine Bitcoin. They're one of the companies who this summer announced that they are done with Bitcoin and they're moving exclusively to Ethereum. So they have been one of the more aggressive companies out there who've purchased large amounts of Ether. They announced before that they were purchasing $500 million from the get-go. Then they said 1.1 billion, and they kept on going up. So before, this is, here's the two-pronged part. Their latest before acquisition has BitMine's total holdings of Ether at 1.174 million coins. We heard last time it was 1.09, I think. So they have 1.17 million ETH, valued at 5.26 billion. 5.26 billion US dollars worth of Ether. They are not the only company doing this. They are, however, the current, I believe, current record holder, because that's an egregious amount of money. As I've been saying across multiple videos, it's very simple. Pay attention to the money. Pay attention to where the money's going. I know it sounds cool, other projects, and Bitcoin 9x squared just launched, and I want to look at where all these companies are putting their money. We are not reading news about a company called BitMine who just invested $5.26 billion in U.S. Treasury bills, or in the U.S. stock market, or in real estate. They put it into Ether. The big money is moving in one direction. A lot of it is flowing into crypto. And there are very specific coins where these people are putting their money. As you might have imagined, the story doesn't end there, because these companies, they're quite intense. That's basically the way to say it. BitMine has announced that what they had before was not enough. A number of these companies have not given an explicit number. So, for Bitcoin companies, they say, we're trying to get to 1,000 coins. We want 10,000 Bitcoin. We want 210,000 Bitcoin, that kind of thing. The Ethereum companies have basically just kind of said they want all of it. And at this current rate, they're probably going to get there pretty soon. BitMine has announced they have enhanced their Ethereum treasury. They have acquired an additional 135,000 Ether. They had 1.09, and then they had 1.1, and then 1.17. They now have 1.29 million Ether. Yeah, this positions BitMine as the largest corporate holder of Ethereum. significantly impacting market dynamics and institutional investment strategies. These companies show no signs of stopping. I really, and I mean this truthfully, as I've said before, I hope we get a lot of new people in the market. I hope that people buy the correct coins. I hope, and I say it this way, I hope people hold on to these coins, especially if we're getting insane price predictions. If you missed this one, this was maybe a week ago. I think it wasn't Van Eck. There was some other company who announced that, who was it? That they've upped their Ethereum price predictions because of all of this activity. And they're expecting by 2028 to see a $25,000 plus Ether. Yeah, we're entering a world where once again, rich people are buying up all the things that are for everyone. So I do really hope that we get to a point where retail investors jump in, see what's going on, that they make sure to purchase Bitcoin before it gets to $500,000 and before $1 million, and that we also see a lot of people accumulating other coins that are apparently going to be the new backbone of Wall Street. Imagine all that stuff actually happens. Imagine by 2036, Ethereum, is one of the chains, but it's kind of like, 80-90% of, the stable coin and movement usage. Don't forget that all these companies and stock exchanges also talked about digitizing their stocks and putting them onto Ether to have it traded there as well. Imagine we do get to a $114,000 Ether in less than a decade. I know that a lot of people aren't paying attention to things they should be paying attention to, but I have to figure out a way to make sure that everyone else also becomes rich as well, instead of just these. Do you understand? This has been 2.5 months. That's 10 weeks. 10 weeks. It took this one company to shift from Bitcoin to announce that they bought 1.29 million ETH. 10 weeks. There's 52 weeks in a year. Imagine they keep replicating this. Imagine by the time we get to next summer, this company has, 13 million Ether. They're not the only company doing it. Yeah, so I am personally for, making sure that everyone is on equal footing and that we all have money and that there's not just a handful of companies like economic overlords floating above us. I want everyone to have money. I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to be able to afford a new house, a new home, to travel whenever they want. Crypto seems to be the thing that could allow that. And this is why I think the rich people have been buying all of it. Yeah, what a life to be a time. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do sincerely hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all, every single one of you, once again for watching the video, liking the video, leaving a comment on the video, and supporting in your own way. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.